Wow, what's good, family? It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Boxing community. Shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. This is the second episode of my Southern University Top 10 series. The first series we talked about top 10 Southern University quarterbacks. One minor correction I want to make from the first video. Sam George did lead Southern University to a Celebration Bowl, or it's Heritage Bowl, and he did lead them to Heritage Bowl victory over Bethune-Cookman. But by that particular point, the Heritage Bowl had lost a lot of interest. Coach Pete Richardson at the time, he was upset the fact that the SWAC top team was playing against the MEAC's third place team, and as a result, the game really didn't have as much intrigue and interest behind it. And in addition to that, the MEAC was sending their top two teams to the 1AA playoffs because the SWAC was sending their top team, which at the time was typically Southern more than any other team. But it's not Southern and Grambling because Southern and Grambling plays the Bayou Classic the week that the 1AA playoffs start. So anytime Southern or Grambling went to the Heritage Bowl, then that would allow two teams from the MEAC to go to the 1AA playoffs. So that's just one minor correction. But like I said, this is episode 2 of my top 5 series, top 5 running backs from Southern University. Before we actually get into that, I want to give some shout outs. First and foremost, I'm going to shout out Cade and King Ray from Bayou Sports Talk. Without them, Bayou Sports Talk would not be possible. Also, special shout out to Rude Dog because he has his own show now on Sundays. So check out Bayou Sports Talk, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time here on this channel on YouTube. Also, check out Live Starring Rude Dog at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sundays. I want to shout out Grant Productions for the videography and the photography for this particular series. In addition to that, I want to shout out Envision Productions and Envision Photography. If you're in Donaldsonville, Louisiana, Patterson, any of those surrounding areas, if you need any photography, Envision Photography can help you out. And if you're in the Baton Rouge area and you need any videography or photography, Grant Productions can service those needs. Now I'll get into the LDBC. Special shout out to the general LDBC, 7 Sports TV. Shout out to Black Fight Fan TV, Best Fight the Best, Cadillac Red from Supreme Boxing Talk. Shout out to Jimmy the Truth. Shout out to Drew Titan, and also shout out to Queens of the Ring Boxing. However, I want to shout out my special section of the LDBC. Shout out my brother Jerry Lovin Green, JB, Brett Box, Jay Good, and Big Joe Townsend. These are the individuals that make the Southern Barber Show possible. Now, getting into some HBCU news. First and foremost, from the Southern University starting quarterback Harold Blood. It looks as if he was headed towards Mississippi Valley to potentially be their starting quarterback. However, now he's transferring to Missouri University. Now I know a lot of individuals are going to be like, it's a huge jump from the SWAC to the SEC. However, he has made that jump to Mizzou. So we wish Harold Blood well in his future endeavors, and hopefully this last season of eligibility is a good one at Mizzou. All right, next, former Texas Southern starting quarterback Andrew Body. Andrew Body has transferred from Texas Southern to Alabama State. So it's going to be interesting to see if Andrew Body could become starting quarterback at Alabama State. That's going to be very interesting. Next, Texas Southern has finally made their decision on their next head coach. We thought it was going to be either Fred McNair from Alcorn State, who was Alcorn State University's head coach, or it was going to be former Houston Texans wide receiver Andre Johnson. However, they went in a completely different direction, and they hired former Houston Oilers defensive back and All-Pro Chris Dishman to be Texas Southern next head coach. That particular hiring came out of nowhere. You know, it was a shocking hire in terms of he really wasn't on their short list of individuals that they were looking to be the head coach. They was looking towards Fred McNair, Andre Johnson, and Eva, former All-Pro defensive back Ed Reed. However, they decided to hire Chris Dishman. He was the best of both worlds in terms of The fact that Chris Dishman had played in the NFL, and in addition to that, he had coaching experience. So they went with Chris Dishman. Let's see how things play out for Texas Southern, how they did hire Chris Dishman to be the next head coach. In addition to that, former FAMU Director of Recruiting, Press, he is joining Coach Prime on his coaching staff at the University of Colorado to be one of his coaches. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how FAMU adjusts. They already lost Willie Simmons, who was their head coach at Duke University, to be the running backs coach. Now they lose their director of recruiting. So it's going to be interesting to see how FAMU recovers because in addition to that, they've lost quite a few players in the transfer portal also. So we're going to see how FAMU recovers. Many individuals say they're going to struggle this coming season, even though they have some individuals that transferred from some PWIs and some Power 5s. It seems as if those individuals that committed to Coach Simmons, now that he's gone, they're decommitted and they're re-entering the transfer portal. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. Now, actually, get into our Southern University top 5. And of course, before we go any further, please like the video, share the video, comment in the comment section. Also, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you can be alerted anytime I post any new videos. So get into our Southern University top 5. When Coach P. Richardson came to Southern University, when he started getting running backs, all the Southern University running backs hit a certain prototype in terms of size, speed, agility, so on and so forth. These, just to kind of compare the NFL running backs, Southern University running backs, they kind of fit the running back of that day, whether it was Emmitt Smith, Thurman Thomas, Barry Sanders, the third down type running back that could catch the ball out the backfield and that could also run in between the tackles. That was the prototypical Southern University running back from the Coach P. Richardson era to this modern era. So I'm gonna break down my top 5 favorite running backs, and also not just my favorite running backs, but the running backs that I thought was the best running backs from the P. Richardson era to the current era. So as usual, I'm gonna start from the bottom and I'm gonna work my way up to the top. So starting with my honorable mention. The first honorable mention running back is Ryan Lewis. Ryan Lewis, when he was at Southern University, he was a real shifty running back, potential highlight reel waiting to happen. But his biggest attribute more than anything was his speed. You didn't catch Ryan Lewis once he got in the open field. You know, Ryan Lewis, he was only 5'7", 163 pounds, but he did a good job hitting holes. But more than anything, once he got to the open field, he was not going to catch Ryan Lewis. I think the biggest drawback for Ryan Lewis as a running back was his lack of size and lack of strength. But more than anything, he did an excellent job hitting holes. He had good vision. I think the reason why he's not higher on my running backs list is because he wasn't the starting running back for a long period of time like some of these other running backs who started for 3 years or more at Southern University. So the first honorable mention slot goes to Ryan Lewis. Next honorable mention slot goes to Lindsey Scott Sr. Just like Ryan Lewis, Coach P. Richardson's first year at Southern University was Lindsey Scott Sr. That was his senior year. And in this particular senior season, he rushed for over 900 yards. When they actually got to play in that Heritage Bowl, basically he went over 1,000 yards, but he wasn't able to eclipse the 1,000-yard mark in a body class. So since he didn't eclipse it in the body class, he was able to go on to the Heritage Bowl and eclipse the 1,000-yard mark. Lindsey Scott Sr., he was a real good running back. He was about 5'10", about 190. He was shifty. He did a good job catching the ball out the backfield. And just kind of like a lot of other Southern University running backs on this list, he had good vision. He hit the hole, and he was fast. I mean, he didn't have blazing speed like some of the other running backs. However, Lindsey Scott Sr. did an excellent job in terms of once he got in the open field, he was able to make things happen. Now, actually getting into my top 5 list. Now, even though it's a top 5 in this particular list, it's going to be 6 running backs, and we're going to start with 5B. 5B on this particular list is Devon Bent. Devon Bent was a starting running back at Southern University a few years ago. More than anything, I think he's the most underrated running back on this list because even though he wasn't like exceptionally fast, exceptionally strong, he ran hard, he had good vision, he had a real nasty aggressive offensive line in front of him, and more than anything, it just seems like Devon Bean, he just kept going, and kept coming in terms of Southern University running back. So even though he wasn't a huge, gigantic running back in terms of stature, I think more than anything, I think Devon Bean just was a grinder. He just kept running, kept trying to get tough yards, kept churning his legs. So I think that's the thing I like about Devon Bean more than anything. I think Devon Bean is probably the most underrated running back on this particular list. Next, going to 5'8", running back on this list is Gerald Holmes. Again, Gerald Holmes, he was another one of these running backs that was small in stature. Gerald Holmes wasn't more than about 5'5", about 150 pounds. However, he was the prototypical Southern University running back in terms of he was fast, he had good vision, he was able to hit the hole, but more than anything, he did a good job catching the ball out the backfield. Now, I know many individuals, when they saw him in terms of stature, I guess they figured, well, hey, this guy, he's not going to be real strong, but he did a good job hitting the hole, and he was really real aggressive when he ran the ball. Going to our next running back. Now, I know many individuals going to be like, Coach, why is this running back so low on the list? I think he was immensely talented, but I didn't like his mindset. The next running back on this list is Steve Warford. Now, Steve Warford eventually became the all-time leading rusher at Southern University. When he first came to Southern University, he transferred from Cal. The three previous running backs that was there the year before him, Mel Williams Jr., Lonnie Nicholas, and Jermaine Sharp, they all was no longer at Southern University. Melvin Williams Jr. was academically ineligible at that point. Lonnie Nicholas had failed off the team, so he was no longer on the team through the academics. And in addition to that, Jermaine Sharp, at one point he was a starting running back at LSU. His junior year, he transferred to Southern University. This would have been Jermaine Sharp's senior year, but for whatever reason, Coach Richardson kicked him off the team. So evidently, it was something behind the scenes that allowed Coach Richardson to dismiss Jermaine Sharp from the team. And that opened the door for Steve Warford to transfer from Cal University and come from California to Southern University. And he literally walked right to the start line. His first year, which was his sophomore year, he rushed over 600 yards. His junior year, he eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark. And his senior year, he rushed for over 1,300 yards. And he led Southern University to a Black National Championship and SWAC Championship also. Now, I think the thing about Steve Warford in terms of his positive attributes was the fact that, he was a shifty running back, did an excellent job catching the ball out of the backfield, and he had real good vision. I think the reason why I deduct points from him in terms of why he's not higher on the list, even though he eventually became Southern University's all-time leading rusher. And I'm not saying he never got hit, but my biggest issue with Steve Warford is the fact that he avoided contact far too often for my liking. Now, I know he's not as big as some of the other running backs at Southern University. He was 5'8", 180 pounds. But if you look at other running backs on this list, like Brian Lewis and Gerald Holmes, these individuals, in terms of size and stature, they're actually smaller than Steve Warford. However, Steve Warford, he constantly ran out of bounds. He would slip down, trip down, fall down, and always avoid contact. And that was one of the things that kind of agitated a lot of members of Jaguar Nation like myself. And that was the reason why many individuals really didn't think Steve Warford was as good as he was advertised. But I think one other drawback he had was the fact that even though he was a fast running back, and I know he had injuries and he was hurt sometimes, more than anything, I felt like, considering he was supposed to be so fast, he got caught in the open field too much for my liking. Considering, many individuals saying that he had sub-4.4 speed, he had 4.3 speed. However, just watching a lot of Southern University games, me personally, I think he was fast, but I think his speed was overhyped. If he had 4.3 speed, there's no way you're gonna catch somebody that has 4.3 speed, catch them in open field that often. Now, I'm not saying he ran out from behind like in every single game, but considering he was supposed to be so fast, I felt like he got caught from behind too often. So transitioning from Steve Warford to the next running back on this list, my next running back is LaShawn Kenneth Peoples. Now, the reason why Kenneth Peoples is not higher on the list is because of the mere fact that the last year eligibility would have had at Southern University, he was no longer academically eligible, at least from what the public knows and what I understand. But LaShawn Kenneth Peoples, he was a good running back. Now, he didn't do as good a job catching the ball out the backfield as some of these other running backs like Steve Warford and Gerald Holmes and Ryan Lewis. However, he was a real good, solid, serviceable running back. He wasn't overly big, overly strong, overly fast, but he was real productive, and he had a lot of good attributes. If I was just kind of making an analogy, if you look at the New Orleans Saints running backs at one point, you know, they had Reggie Bush and they had Mike Bell, but you would have a running back that's kind of in the middle, that maybe not as fast as Reggie Bush, not as strong as Mike Bell, like a Pierre Thomas, that was strong enough to break arm tackles and good enough to catch the ball out of the backfield and be real good in the screen game. So LaShawn Kenny-Peoples was that kind of running back. He might not have been as good at catching the football out the backfield as maybe like a Ryan Lewis, a Gerald Holmes, a Steve Warford. And he wasn't as fast as those guys, but at the same token, he was fast enough. And he might not have been as strong as other running backs, like maybe Gerard Sims, Lonnie Nicholas, that type of running back. But he was strong enough to break arm tackles. So I think LaShawn Kenny-Peoples, he was underrated. I think more than anything, I think the biggest drawback was he didn't have that extra year eligibility that would put him higher up on Southern University's all-time list in terms of rushing. But more than anything, he was a solid, serviceable running back. He had good vision. You know, he hit the hole. Like I said, he wasn't super fast, super strong, but he was solid in a lot of different categories. He might not have had an A in no one particular area, but he had B's across the board, and I think that's the thing that made him an extremely effective running back at Southern University. The next running back on our list, some individuals may have him two, other individuals may have him one. He's number 2 on my list. The next running back is Leonard Tillery. Leonard Tillery was an excellent running back at Southern University. He's Southern University's all-time leading rusher. He was a very good running back. He did a good job catching the ball in the backfield. He was solid in terms of running between the tackles. He had good speed. Leonard Tillery was just a complete package in terms of running backs. And more than anything, I think the thing that kind of helped him more than anything, he just had a nasty offensive line in front of him. He was a solid running back. He represented Southern University well in a variety of different categories, both on the field and off the field. Like I said, he was able to catch the ball at the backfield. He hit the hole. He had the vision. He had decent speed. Even though he might not be as fast as some of these other running backs on this, he had good speed. Like I said, he was able to break arm tackles. So Leonard Tillery was just a complete package. So more than anything on this particular list, he's not number 2, but more than anything, he's 1B. He's not number 2, he's 1B, but he did an excellent job while he was at Southern University. Now, my number 1 running back all time for my top 5 running backs at Southern University. Of course, this list is from Pete Richardson era to now. My number 1 running back is Melvin Williams Jr. Now, I know a few individuals that I want to say, well, Coach, you're from Belrose, Louisiana, and Melvin Williams Jr. is from Belrose, Louisiana. Like, aren't you a little bit biased? And in this context, if I was biased, I would admit that, but the numbers kind of speak for themselves. Melvin Williams Jr. was an excellent running back while he was at Southern University. When he arrived, Coach Richardson's second year, he rushed for over 1,000 yards. He was the SWAC newcomer of the year. Next year, along with Eric Lamb, he was able to lead Southern University to the Black National Championship. They won both the SWAC and the Heritage Bowl victory. He was the SWAC MVP, SWAC Player of the Year. Let me rephrase that, SWAC Offensive Player of the Year. He did an excellent job. You know, he was one thing about Melvin Williams Jr. Like I said, he might not have been as strong in terms of a power back, like maybe like a Lionel Nicholas, Gerard Sims, or Newman, or one of those type of running backs. However, he hit the hole and he was strong enough to break arm tackles, even though he wasn't a power back that ran people over. So he was able to break arm tackles. He did an excellent job at catching the ball out the backfield. And if he had 25 carries in the game, he might have maybe about 18, 19 carries where, you know, he would only get a few yards and maybe he'd have a loss here in terms of a carry, loss on this particular play. And he would get a few yards here, a few yards there. But eventually, you knew he was going to have a long run where he was going to get a 50, 60, 70 yard run during the course of the game. He was going to get a couple of those runs. So he was going to get a couple long runs every game. And in addition to that, he did an excellent job at catching the ball out the backfield. And even though he's not like the fastest running back on this list, like maybe like a Ryan Lewis or Gerald Holmes, once he got in an open field, like he wasn't going to catch him too often. So he had good speed, He had good strength for his size. He hit the hole, and unlike somebody like Steve Warford, like he didn't shy away from contact. So he broke arm tackles. He had good strength. He had good speed. He was able to catch the ball out of the backfield, and he just was a complete total package. So he's the top running back on my all-time Southern University running backs list. And like I said, it's not an all-time list in terms of all the Southern University's running back. We just talking about the Pete Richardson era to his present era. So this is my list. In the comment section, tell me what is your top 5 list in terms of your top 5 Southern University running backs from Pete Richardson era to this present modern day. Of course, next time we gonna go into maybe another position group. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Whether you want me to go top 5 wide receivers, defensive backs, whatever the case may be, defensive players, linebackers, whatever. So tell me, what do you think the next position group we should break down in this particular top 5? So also, before I conclude this video, go and check out my brother's channel, Jared Love and Green. Every Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we have the Southern Baller Show with my co-host. Well, I'm the co-host with Jared Love and Green, who's the host. JB, Brett Box, Jay Good, Joe Townsend. So check out my brother Jared Love and Green on his channel, the Southern Baller Show. Also check out my brother Brett Box. He talks about football and boxing. In addition to that, on this particular channel, again, check out Bayou Sports Talk every Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We talk about a variety of different topics: NFL, NBA, college football, whatever the case may be. Also, Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, check out Live Storm Rudolph. So these are all the shows that I want you to check out. Like I say again, like, share, comment, subscribe. Catch y'all on the rebound. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal evening. Peace and blessings.